Namaste. Welcome back to SLG Hello Doctor, your fortnightly capsule of all things health. October is World Breast Cancer Awareness Month. In our last episode, we understood the facts about this highly prevalent disease. The heartening fact is that the overall 5-year relative survival rate for breast cancer is 90%. This means 90 out of 100 women are alive 5 years after they've been diagnosed with breast cancer. The 10-year breast cancer relative survival rate is 84%, and the 15-year breast cancer relative survival rate is 80%. This tells us that early presentation, detection, and treatment have a tremendous positive impact on breast cancer. Today, we will understand from Dr. Archana Pratipati, consultant radiation oncologist at SLG Hospitals, Hyderabad, the role of radiotherapy in the treatment of breast cancer. Welcome, Dr. Archana. It's so good to have you back on SLG Hello Doctor.
Namaste ma'am, and thank you for making me a part of SLG Hello Doctor program. I'm delighted to be a part of this event, so thank you.
There are so many myths surrounding radiotherapy, and most of them are distressing. That it is imposed on everyone diagnosed with cancer, that its side effects are just as in chemotherapy, that it is no longer needed once the tumor is removed, and many more. I'm hoping our conversation today with Dr. Archana Pratipati will help undo most of these misconceptions. So, shall we get started, Doctor?
Yes ma'am, we can start.
First of all, what is radiotherapy and how is it used in the treatment of cancer?
Radiotherapy is using radiation for treatment of cancer. So for example, we all know that we do take X-ray chest for to rule out some lung infections and all. So the same X-rays will be using for treatment. For X-rays, for diagnostic X-rays, we'll be using lower energies, while for treatment, we'll be using high energy X-rays. So radiotherapy is nothing but using high dose, like high energy X-rays for treatment of cancer. Usually, 50% of the cancer patients, they do require radiation, some part of their treatment. Of those, 40% of them, radiation serves in a curative way. But in 10% of the cases, it is for palliation of symptoms. Coming to breast cancer, in breast cancer, we use radiation in 3 different scenarios. The first common scenario is adjuvant radiotherapy, that is after surgery or after chemotherapy, that is primary treatment. After the completion of primary treatment, we use radiation for adjuvant treatment, that is to prevent relapse of a disease at the treated site. Like for example, after surgery, we use radiation to prevent local recurrence. Similarly, chemotherapy is used to prevent systemic recurrence, and hormonal therapy is also used to prevent a systemic relapse. That is adjuvant setting. And the second common setting which we use in breast is palliative setting. Like for example, when there is an inoperable mass in the breast which is causing pain. For pain relief, we can use radiotherapy. Similarly, when there is a bleeding ulcer in the breast which is not being managed by conservative measures, then radiotherapy, palliative radiotherapy is of use. Also for treating bone sites, like when the cancer of breast is infiltrating or infecting, like it is spread to bones, for pain relief or to prevent a fracture, we use radiation therapy. Neoadjuvant setting is coming up recent days, that is to decrease size of a tumor, that is only used in clinical trials. So in breast cancer, we use radiation as adjuvant to a primary treatment or as to palliate a patient.
Doctor, is radiotherapy used commonly? And how many patients actually benefit from radiotherapy?
Radiotherapy is used approximately in 50 to 60% of the cancer patients. In breast cancer patients, it is used in 80 to 90% of the patients as part of treatment protocol. So coming to the benefit of radiotherapy, when we use radiotherapy for a operated breast cancer, it decreases the risk of cancer, like death due to cancer, by 33%. So the probability of surviving after 10 years is 10%. So 10% of the people, they do survive after 10 years because of radiotherapy. Coming to scenario-based examples, for example, in lumpectomy, we'll be removing part of breast tissue along with the tumor with margins. So in lumpectomy, when we give adjuvant radiotherapy, up to 25% of the people, they can avoid a local recurrence. So in 25% of the people, radiotherapy helps them. Whereas in post-mastectomy situations, up to 15% of the people are benefited by radiotherapy. So the benefit is decreasing a local recurrence, and that is seen in 10 to 20% of the population. This is after following up the people for 10 years of period.
Doctor, when it comes to radiotherapy, everybody is wary about the side effects. So, what are the side effects that can be expected, and can they be decreased or avoided completely?
Coming to side effects of radiotherapy, we usually divide them into two headings actually: acute side effects and late side effects or late toxicities. The acute side effects which we see is fatigue. So the patients might be feeling little fatigued during treatment, but that will not be interrupting their daily or day-to-day activities. Coming to the next organ, that is skin. So during radiotherapy, there might be skin erythema or skin pigmentation or skin desquamation or peeling off. Sometimes a minor infection of the skin, we call that as moist desquamation. But with the latest advanced techniques and all, the side effects are coming down. And the next acute side effect is implant related. So some people they have breast reconstruction or prosthesis implant placement during surgery. So sometimes there might be little discomfort of the implant during treatment. Coming to late toxicities, the main late toxicities which we talk about are heart toxicity and lung toxicity. Heart and lung are the radiosensitive normal organs which are situated inside the thoracic cavity, and they lie close to the chest wall. Chest wall is what we treat with radiotherapy. So we have to be cautious about heart and lung toxicities. So they do manifest after 5 to 10 years of post-treatment follow-up. We don't see them during treatment. We just see them after following up for 5 to 10 years. And the main problem with lung toxicity is we are not seeing any radiation pneumonitis these days. We are seeing only decrease in lung function these days. Coming to heart toxicity, there might be increased chance of our early coronary events, like for example early heart attacks, or sometimes rhythm abnormalities, or sometimes fluid buildup around the heart, that is we call that as pericarditis. These toxicities we might be seeing in the follow-up period. Coming to the second part of the question, that is how to avoid or decrease the side effects of radiotherapy. So for that, as I said, skin toxicity, we do have to take a few precautions during radiotherapy, that is wearing loose fitting cotton cloths and avoiding alcohol based solutions for cosmetic purposes or for sanitization purposes on the treating area, and also moisturizing the skin properly during treatment, avoiding handling the skin like while scratching or sometimes applying any herbal remedies during the treatment. This has to be avoided. Coming to late toxicity, we can do pulmonary rehabilitation post-treatment, that is pranayama or respiratory or breathing exercises to improve lung function. Similarly, we have to maintain active, healthy cardiovascular lifestyle to decrease the chance of cardiac toxicities. These are all what we can do from the patient side. But coming to the therapy side, there are many advancements in radiotherapy on the therapy side. We'll be learning it in the next part of the discussion.
Dr. Archana, what are the latest advancements in radiotherapy? Are they available for us here?
The latest advancements in radiotherapy, machine-related advancements are flattening filter-free radiotherapy, that is FFFF radiotherapy. This decreases the treatment time. The treatment delivery time will be significantly less. As we know, we all breathe during radiotherapy. So when we use a faster type of radiotherapy, the movements impairing the delivery will be less. And the second advancement is delivery advancement. That is, in the olden days, the radiotherapy technique available was two-dimensional planning or X-ray based planning. But nowadays there is three-dimensional or conformal radiotherapy and other advancements like intensity modulated radiotherapy, that is IMRT, or volumetric modulated arc therapy, that is VMAT, even image guided radiotherapy. So with these advancements, we'll be able to alter or change the intensity of beam so that we can avoid normal tissues getting radiation dose. So these advancements are available. And coming to the delivery advancements, there are two advancements available. One is deep inspiratory breath hold radiotherapy and image guided radiotherapy. So in image guided radiotherapy, we use image guidance like X-ray or cone beam CT guidance during treatment delivery to confirm the accuracy of delivery. Whereas in deep inspiratory breath hold delivery, it's a way of respiratory motion management. All the advancements which I have said earlier are available at SLG. We are treating all patients with the above advances.
It's break time on SLG Hello Doctor.
ప్రపంచ స్థాయి మల్టీ సూపర్ స్పెషాలిటీ హాస్పిటల్ ఎస్ఎల్జీ హాస్పిటల్స్
4 ఎకరాల సువిశాల ప్రాంగణంలో 999 బెడ్ల సౌకర్యంతో గ్లోబల్ జేసీఐ అండ్ ఎన్ఏబిహెచ్ ప్రమాణాలతో అనుభవజ్ఞులైన వైద్య నిపుణులతో అత్యంత క్లిష్టమైన గుండె సమస్యలకు శస్త్రచికిత్సలు చేయబడును.
మెదడు మరియు నరాల సంబంధిత సమస్యలకు మొట్టమొదటిగా న్యూరో నావిగేషన్ టెక్నాలజీతో చికిత్స,
క్యాన్సర్ చికిత్స కోసం లీనాక్ వంటి అత్యాధునిక వైద్య పరికరాలతో చికిత్స,
కీళ్ల నొప్పులు, ఎముకలకు సంబంధించిన సమస్యలకు మరియు జీర్ణకోశ సంబంధిత వ్యాధులకు మెరుగైన వైద్యం అందించబడును.
20 అత్యాధునిక ఆపరేషన్ థియేటర్లు, 200 ఐసీయూ బెడ్స్, అత్యాధునిక డయాలసిస్ సదుపాయం కలదు.
24 గంటలు ఎమర్జెన్సీ, డయాగ్నోస్టిక్, ఫార్మసీ సేవలు,
3 టెస్ట్ల ఎంఆర్ఐ, సిటీ స్కాన్ వంటి అత్యాధునిక వైద్య పరికరాలతో మరింత మెరుగైన సంరక్షణకు మీ ఎంపిక ఎస్ఎల్జీ హాస్పిటల్స్, నిజాంపేట్ రోడ్, బాచుపల్లి, హైదరాబాద్.
సెల్ నంబర్స్ 9133395500,
ఫోన్ నంబర్స్ 914023785678 మరియు 48525678.
టోల్ ఫ్రీ నంబర్ 1800599220.
ఎమర్జెన్సీ 7799235678.
ఆంధ్ర ఆరోగ్యశ్రీ సదుపాయం కూడా కలదు.
Welcome back to SLG Hello Doctor. We are in conversation with Dr. Archana Pratipati, consultant radiation oncologist at SLG Hospitals, Hyderabad. Doctor, we've been hearing a lot about DIBH radiotherapy nowadays. So what is DIBH radiotherapy and how is it better than the other options?
DIBH radiotherapy is deep inspiratory breath hold radiotherapy. Regularly or normally, when we are getting treatment to chest wall or breast after surgery, we will be freely allowing the patient to breathe freely on the machine. So he'll be doing a treatment in the free breathing phase, wherein the patients inhale and exhale continuously during treatment. So the lung volume changes dynamically during treatment, and the chest wall or the breast tissue, it also moves during the treatment. So the chance of getting radiation exposure to normal organs getting a radiation exposure is higher. Whereas in DIBH radiotherapy, we will be asking the patient to inhale deeply and hold the breath for 10 to 20 seconds. When the patient is holding the breath, the ABC device, active breathing coordinated device, synchronizes the machine to breathe. So when the patient is holding the breath, then only the machine will be triggering radiation. So when the patient is not holding the breath, there will be no radiation. So this has two advantages. One is immobility of the breast or chest wall, that is, we will be statically treating the breast or chest wall. And two, as we are doing it in deep inspiration, the lung volume is higher and the position of heart also varies in the thoracic cavity. So with that, there will be an advantage.
Doctor, you spoke about holding the breath while doing this test. So I was wondering whether this test can be used on both sides.
Actually, traditionally, deep inspiratory breath hold radiotherapy is promoted as a heart sparing option. So it was being used in left breast carcinomas. But right now, like nowadays, there are studies which supports its use in right-sided breast cancer treatments also. For example, it decreases the normal lung exposure at lower doses also, apart from decreasing the radiation exposure at high doses. So it also decreases the radiation dose to liver. So it can be used in right-sided breast treatments also, apart from regularly used left-sided breast treatments.
Doctor, DIBH radiotherapy seems to be a very new advancement. So is it available in India, in Hyderabad?
So DIBH radiotherapy is available in Hyderabad at SLG. We have the machine, we have the technical expertise and experience for DIBH at SLG.
So doctor, what next after the completion of radiotherapy? What are the precautions that the patients and their caregivers need to take?
After completing radiotherapy, to decrease or to get relieved from the acute toxicities, proper skincare regime has to be followed. As I said, avoiding tightly fitted cloths and alcohol-based cosmetics or deodorants, and handling the skin has to be avoided. Apart from that, function of the skin has to be maintained. So we have to use a water-based moisturizer regularly, and it also is recommended. The skin which is exposed to radiotherapy is sensitive to sun. So sun blocking also has to be done. Like when we are walking in the sun, it is better to use a proper SPF sunscreen lotion regularly on the treated skin. Similarly, to avoid or to decrease heart and lung toxicity, as I said, breathing exercises and healthy cardiac lifestyle like moderate activity for 300 minutes per a week or 5,000 to 7,000 steps a day. Even maintaining proper healthy nutrition is important. Apart from that, the next step in treatment has to be followed like hormonal therapy. If the patient is hormone receptor positive, hormonal therapy or targeted therapy will be prescribed to the patient. So hormonal therapy has to be followed after radiotherapy. Some sorts of hormonal therapy or some types of hormonal therapy can be used even during radiotherapy. And while on hormonal therapy, bone loss is expected. So periodically screening for bone mineral density or using BMD scans or for checking for osteoporosis is also to be followed. And contralateral breast cancers are also expected in the follow-up period. So screening for contralateral, that is breast cancer in the opposite breast, is also important. For that, during follow-up, we'll be doing a mammogram. And secondary cancers are also expected in a treated case of breast cancer after 10 years of follow-up. So the follow-up has to be continued for the rest of the life if possible. At least up to 10 years, it is recommended to be on follow-up.
What is your message for our viewers on this last day of World Breast Cancer Awareness Month?
Right now in India, we are seeing 30% of the patients presenting in early stage breast cancer. 50% of them are still presenting in loco-regionally advanced, that is stage 3 disease, while 10 to 20% of them, they are presenting at very late stage, that is stage 4. So we still have to have awareness on breast cancer. And this is because when the patient is presenting to us in early stage, that is in stage 1, the cure rate is up to 90%. Whereas in stage 3, that is in loco-regionally advanced stage, the survival is dropping down to 60%, 50 to 60%. Whereas in distant metastasis, the survival is very less, it is only 10 to 20%. So the better we see early stages, the better the probability of survival. So to see a patient in early stage, rather than the patient presenting with symptoms, self-screening is very important. So self-screening is what we do, that is breast self-examination. That has to be done after our 20th, after celebrating our 20th birthday, we have to start self-breast examination once a month. Like on day 8 of our cycles, for every month on the day 8 of periods, we have to do a self-breast examination. This has to be for the rest of our lives. And we have to start this at our 20th birthday. Coming to hospital screening, that is doctor screen for breast cancer, it has to be started at 40 to 45 years of age, depending on the risk factors. So this will be doing with annual mammogram or biannual mammograms, depending on the risk of the patient. And apart from screening, the screening has to be an ongoing process, not just getting a mammogram once in life is adequate. We have to do it up as a follow-up. Like after 45 years of our age, every year we have to go for a hospital screening, and every day, every month we have to go for self-breast examination. Because with self-screen, we'll be able to identify very small lumps. Like after identifying a lump, it is equally important to diagnose the lump. What is the nature of the lump? Is it benign lump or a malignant lump or a pre-malignant lump? When we get to know a pre-malignant lump, that is ductal carcinoma in situ, the proper management has to be done, like lumpectomy or mastectomy has to be done, depending on the stage or risk of DCIS. And after, like when we get to have a malignant lump, prompt staging has to be done and prompt treatment has to be done without any delay. It can be early surgery or neoadjuvant chemotherapy or sometimes hormonal therapy. After completing primary treatment, adjuvant treatment like adjuvant chemotherapy and adjuvant radiotherapy has to be on time. And after this, hormonal therapy also has to be followed. So with all precautions, like from self-screen to completing treatment, every step is important to be a breast cancer survivor. And with all the self-screen and breast awareness, 1 in 8, we are able to save 1 life out of 8 lives. Because 1 death can be avoided by diagnosing at very early stage. So breast awareness is very important. So I would like to promote breast awareness and recommend self-breast screening after celebrating 20th birthday. If you have any doubts, we are always ready to help you.
Highly obliged, Dr. Archana, for sharing the facts about radiotherapy and putting it all so simply for us.
It is nice to be here today, and I'm happy to share breast awareness and my thoughts on radiotherapy and explaining how easy the radiotherapy is these days.
On behalf of teams SLG Hello Doctor and SLG Hospitals, I wish you and your dear ones a very happy and safe Deepavali. Let's not forget to follow all the COVID safety guidelines as we let the divine light pervade our lives. We'll be back with you in 2 weeks from now with yet another interesting conversation. Until then, be aware, be safe, be healthy. Namaste. Viewers, don't forget to hit the bell icon to keep yourself updated on all that's happening at SLG Hello Doctor.